Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some cactus with a little hummingbird tucked in there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish tonight. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat today, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and we'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, I'm using a 12 by 12 inch canvas today. This was a Fredrix canvas that I had some leftover paint, so I just kind of coated it. I don't exactly know what color this was, but it's just a kind of a cross between orange and yellow somewhere in there. So just kind of a yellowish orange ground, that's all. Probably cadmium yellow and cadmium orange or something like that, 50-50. But just paint it on lightly. It doesn't really matter what color it is. We're going to cover most of it. It'll just kind of glow through and give us a good starting point for our colors. Let me go over colors. Speaking of, got carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow light, phthalo green yellow shade. This is also phthalo green yellow shade, and phthalo green yellow shade right here. Phthalo turquoise, a little bit of phthalo turquoise down here. Also, I did this so because we're going to be mixing up some greens, and I just wanted to have them over here where I'm not going to make a mess. And this is Ultramarine Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Orange, and I forgot this one when I was putting in my paints. I was supposed to be in here somewhere. Cobalt Teal, Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, and Gloss Glazing Liquid. All right. I just saw a glitch on the camera there, so hopefully it's not going through the... Yeah, it like skipped my... Yeah. Speaking of, I don't need my mouse anymore. Get that out of my way. All right, so you'll want a palette knife. We're going to be mixing up some colors. As far as brushes go, I'm going to grab my Aspen brushes. So I've got various sizes of Filberts and a couple of rounds and things. So I'll mention them as I use them. And I'm probably going to use my 3/8 inch angle brush for some of the flowers. So let's start out by putting in a rough sketch. So I kind of played with the composition. This photo was from my Aunt Nancy in Arizona.
You didn't say it correct.
Aunt Nancy.
Aunt Nancy.
And so thank you to Nancy. Well, I shouldn't say that. I can't say that. Right, she knows.
You're going to say she's your favorite? What?
May or may not. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to hurt any feelings. I have like 12 aunts, so no, not really, but it feels like it. It's not far off, actually, now that I think about it. Anyhow, I am going to mess around with the composition. So in her original photo, this agave plant wasn't in it. And I think I want to move the hummingbird up because you can't really see him where he is down low on the... in the thing. Obviously, he wasn't cooperating, posing for the photo. So I think we're going to move him up here maybe, and maybe move the agave plant over a little bit and have some over here. So let's just do that. We're going to kind of play with the composition. Actually, before that I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use my palette knife and mix up some of these colors. That way we have some greens that we can just grab from. So I'm going to mix up kind of a teal leaning green and then kind of a more yellow leaning green, and then we'll have both of those to grab, and as we go we can move a little bit faster. Plus then I won't have to be remixing these colors every time. So this is 50-50 phthalo green yellow shade and phthalo turquoise. If you don't have phthalo turquoise, just add some phthalo blue to your green, or if you don't have the green, if you just have phthalo blue, just add some yellow. You can get these turquoises pretty easy. And then let's see, I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber to this to darken it up, and a little bit of purple, I think. That'll give me I have a nice dark turquoise green. This will be for our shadow areas, and that'll work really well for us. So whenever you're mixing up your colors, mix it up, spread it out thin, but then once you're done mixing, kind of scoop it up and then offload it into a small area if you can. That way it won't dry out as quickly. Okay, and I'm going to just grab a brush here and pull off my color there off here. And I might grab some white and just make a lighter version of it with white. So that looks really good. I like that. The brown and purple in it, just keep it from looking too abnormal, like, you know, too manufactured, because colors in nature are rarely this bright straight out of the tube color. So it just kind of tones it down a little bit. So speaking of that, I think I'm going to tone this one down with a little bit of my Unbleached Titanium and some yellow oxide and some cadmium yellow light. So not adding too much of it because I want to keep this green fairly dark, fairly bright. But the Unbleached Titanium, using that instead of my regular white, will neutralize it a little bit because it's got kind of almost a brownish leaning tone. It's kind of a neutral white. Got a little bit of yellow in there, a little bit of brown. Okay, that looks really, really good. I like that. So that'll be a good kind of base green we can pull from. And then I'm gonna just take some of that, add a little bit of the turquoise, a little bit more of my yellow, and have a little bit brighter version. A little bit more yellow. There we go. Okay. So I've got a couple versions of each green. This will give us just a starting point. We'll add whites to these as we go and mix them together in different places and that kind of thing. So this is not like the last that we'll be mixing. We just gives us a little head start, adding white to this as well, adding some more yellow. So I've got a really bright yellow green. Okay. And again, the ones on the brush, just kind of twist it so that it goes off into a smaller area if you can, or you can kind of scoop it up and then kind of twist your brush to get it to come off. All right, well, let's just go ahead and use this color since I've got it on my brush. And I'll go ahead and kind of figure out where I'm putting these things. So this cactus is going to be in here. This barrel cactus is going to be right in here, and it's going all the way to like the halfway mark, and all the way up to about the halfway mark here. This way too. So it's going to be in here. Pretty good size. Get a little glaze to kind of just help the paint move. So I'm going to kind of start my drawing as far as the direction that the, what are they, lobes or whatever, I'm not really sure what they're called on a cactus. These deep grooves that happen. So the center point is like right in here. There's some coming out this way. It's almost like a pumpkin. You know, the way it's growing reminds me of a pumpkin. I wonder if they're related. Probably not. Probably not. No. They just remind me. Pleats. Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Yeah, just pleats.
Okay, very good. All right, so we got some pleats there. I like how this yellow is peeking through. And I'm going to do this one a little bit looser style just because we've got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in, 2 hours tonight. So I'm trying to get it hopefully less than 2 hours. We'll see. I'm going to get a little bit of burnt umber and purple there. I'm going to get a little bit of my green here too. I need to spray these. And anytime you're mixing color, go ahead and spray them right away with water too. That'll help them stay moist while you're working. So I'm going to darken up this center area right here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of. So this will be kind of that outer one there. You can see in between the pleats there's dark, so that's what I'm kind of trying to pick out here. And I'm really just kind of drawing in my roadmap to where I'm gonna make, put my details later. So this is just kind of giving me my drawing. So that looks pretty good, I think. We've got it fairly locked in there. So I'm gonna put my agave, whoops, got a little bit of water there. See how that does? Don't want to get your water on there. Dog is causing problems running in and out. Maybe get just some turquoise here, the agave, and let's do him. Hold on, I need to change my image up here because I can't see part of it. There we go. Got my screen up here right in front of me that I'm looking at. It has my references on it. Okay, so we'll do that. Something like that. I'm going to really make it large in this area. And this may not want it that far over because I may lose some of my details behind this one here because I want to be able to see these spikes. Let me see if I can get them to where I can see them. Yeah, I think it's all right. I can go up higher still even, which I might do. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and then we've got let's do this darker green here. We've got this tall one. And it's got lobes, pleats. Kind of tucks in and then goes back out. Okay, and then in here, and I might add another. I kind of feel like I almost want another limb on this guy, like one coming off here. They have multiple limbs. Like that. Okay, I like that. That fills it up nicely. And then we'll tuck our flowers in around this area here, and we'll have them going all up in here. Flowers kind of overlapping here, overlapping this. And then our hummingbird will be in here. I think I'm going to put him right in here where we can see him really well. Kind of facing this flower right here and tuck down here. I think that'll work. I think. All right, let's get painting here. So the background is like a big rock, and I think I'm going to just kind of do kind of gray. I don't know that I'm going to try to put any detail in that rock, even though I really like the look of it. I don't know that it's going to help our composition. So I'm going to just gray out this back area here and just keep it fairly neutral, not have a lot going on with it. And that way our focus will be on the colorful cactus in the foreground. So I'm going to get a little bit bigger brush. That was the 4 Filbert there. I'm going to get the 6. Get a little bit bigger, cover a little bit bigger area for me. And we can still give the suggestion of rocks back here. It doesn't have to be like completely neutral. We can still do that. Right now it looks a little cartoony, but that's okay. We're still in our development stages here. This is just our sketch layer. So don't get freaked out when you get going here that it doesn't look good. It never really looks good until you get the last couple layers on, you know. So just kind of go with it. Add your details in last and make sure you're getting really good contrast layers in here. This is where we're kind of developing where our darks and lights are going to go, and making sure we've got a good background for our details good to go on. If we add our details too quickly, the painting will look flat because we won't have any contrast in our layers, and our values will be all too flat. So I'm just adding the dark colors, these 3 darks, the black, the burnt umber, and the purple. And I'm adding the purple because I want that as my kind of contrast to these greens. And I like it against this yellow also in the background here. So I think it's a nice kind of tone to have in here. Just gives it a little bit more life than just having plain black. A little bit more detail. And I'm going to get some unbleached titanium and just kind of dab in some suggestion of stuff. Nothing really obvious, but just some suggestions that maybe there's some dirt there or something. I don't know. I'm gonna spray again. Make sure you're spraying pretty frequently, especially on these, because they will dry really quickly now that we've mixed them and flattened out all of those layers. Paint. We've introduced a bunch of air, and the paint will dry out really fast. I'm not sure where these are going to go, so I'm just going to kind of paint over this whole area here. How are you doing? Everybody in chat doing okay tonight?
We're good, but
Good.
wow, you are definitely painting outside the lines tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how I used
Is it
to do
freaking
them
people out?
for the coloring book. Just me, probably,
Just you?
and maybe some
It's not
others.
that different. I just moved this plant over. That's all I did. And added a little limb to this.
Okay. Hope there's no OCD out there. Hope there's nobody with OCD out there.
Okay.
But we're doing well. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. I finally got my scanner to work. spent a lot of money on a really expensive scanner to scan my artwork, and it wasn't working for the first several days, but
Technology.
it's working now.
You gotta love it.
I downloaded this software program that's supposed to help, and it like ruined it. So all the colors were wrong and everything. And like, fortunately, their help got back to me pretty quick. So, yeah, and I've got some nice artwork or photos of my artwork. Today, so that's what I'm
Some
working on today.
scans.
Scans, yes, not photos. Okay, I'm not worried about the flowers. We'll just put those on top of everything. So, just kind of scrubbing in all of our background area here around our flowers and leaving some of that yellow poking through here and there. Okay, that looks really good. I like it. Darker down here at the bottom, a little bit lighter at the top. Wiping that out or cleaning that out really good. Clean that one out really good too. I think I'm going to stick with this one for my agave. And I think I'm going to grab just that plain old Phthalo Turquois and some Ultramarine Blue, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the burnt orange. The burnt orange, Quinacridone burnt orange has really neat things that it does when it mixes all these blues and greens. So I think I might move this one out just slightly, just a little bit. So we'll kind of let this be the bottom of it right here. And I'm going to go pretty dark. This is almost black here. And we're not going to get any light really until the upper layers go on. So make sure we go nice and dark at first, because we got to get all these dark in between areas really dark. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of my Cobalt Teal just so I can kind of mark out my drawing here. So I kind of moved it over just slightly. That pretty green. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. It looks like there's one kind of coming back here. I can't really tell. And then there's definitely one that kind of folds down over here. Goes off. So we'll go on top of some of that, but that'll work right there for us. There's another one that kind of folds out right here. Okay. The dog's over there sighing. It's like, seriously, he's like a teenager.
I know at the beginning of the show he was in and out, in and out. At the beginning of the show he was in and out, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's just in his bed.
It's like, fine. Guess we're gonna do this tonight.
Well, it's like 101 outside, so we're definitely not going outside to play.
I'm gonna darken up that area right there where it kind of meets the ground. Just go dark with that purple right there, and then just kind of fade it out into the area around it. We'll have the flowers again over the top of this, but this will just give us a good base. Just getting some of my dark green here and adding some of this turquoise to it. And then, okay, so this will be right in here. Don't look too hard at the reference photo because it's very badly photoshopped. So the edges don't quite meet up, and there's weird things happening in the background. So it's all right. We'll make it work.
Sounds like you're describing me.
A little bit blurry.
Edges don't meet up, and
Yeah. And some water. Make sure you're adding water to your brush every now and then when you're doing this. It can be easy to kind of get going and then forget, and then you end up not covering, and then you end up just grabbing more paint instead of just adding water is all you needed to do. And you can waste a lot of paint when all you needed to add was water. Okay, that looks good. And there's going to be one right here that kind of sticks up right there. Good, okay, so this will be our border here. And then right here we'll have another one. And bring it up pretty tall right here. And again, go darker in between where they meet. There's another little one right here.
So, are we doing a mystery painting this month?
What?
Are we doing a mystery painting this month?
No, I didn't schedule a mystery painting this month.
Okay.
Did not.
Because I was going to try to play along and not know what it is, or try not to know what it is, and see if I
that'd be
can
fun.
guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I won't tell you then. Well, you'll see the, obviously.
The Scrabble image and stuff. Yeah. So. Hope it's a tank.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I heard somebody say, "Hope it's a tank." I think it was
Somebody
Fitz.
from the chat.
It was Fitz.
Fitzpickle.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yep.
I don't really think about. I'm glad we never named any of our children a weird name, because I have to repeat his name every time I tell somebody his name. And there's 50-50 chance they still don't understand what it is, even after I've told them. So it's just like I kind of halfway regret. It's a conversation starter, that's for sure.
There's no weird names, by the way. Just saying.
Well, it's a made-up name, I should say.
Right.
An unfamiliar name that people need me to repeat every time. Okay, I'm wanting to create this arc, so I'm just kind of looking, making sure that I'm getting that shape correct with this, with my drawing. I'm going to bring this one up just a little bit. Just feel like I want to have one up right there. And I might bring this one up a little bit too. We'll see. Bring it out. Okay. There, and then we've got this one kind of curving in, filling in this middle space. little bit of highlights to somebody's making a smoothie.
I was gonna say. What am I hearing?
What?
I was like, what am I hearing? Oh, okay. Making sure it wasn't something with the audio.
No.
So we had a good weekend this weekend.
We did. It was my son Nathan's birthday. Our son Nathan's birthday.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. We can shore here.
Yeah. Our son Nathan's birthday. And I felt pretty proud that he wanted to hang out with us on his birthday.
Well, I think we're like plan B, though.
We were plan B.
Because he was originally going to hang out with his friends.
Right.
And that kind of fell through, so he's like, all right, I guess I'll
I guess I'll hang out with the
settle
parents.
with my parents.
With the rents.
And with rents, is that what all the
Rents.
kids are saying these days?
I guess so. I don't know.
And but only one condition would he hang out with us: if I helped him do all his projects around his house.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mark was... I got the sweet end of the stick. I got to just go and shop.
Yeah, I know. You went shopping with Maggie.
I know.
What's up with that?
We had fun.
I would have let you mix some concrete if you want to do.
It's okay. It was
Yeah?
good.
All right.
I was happy to let you do it. Yep. It was fun. It was hotter than hot. But actually cooler than it was here, though. So it was a good place to be.
Yeah, Saturday night was gorgeous out.
Yeah,
So
it
we were
was
just sitting
pretty.
out on his back patio and enjoying the evening.
Yes.
So good.
Okay. Getting some of this unbleached titanium. So I just mixed up, I've just been mixing up the greens and blues with the colors that we already been mixing. If I don't mention every single time I'm mixing something, usually it's because I've forgotten what is in these. So I'm just mixing into things that I've already mixed. So that you just pay attention to when I first mix it. I usually tell what it is, and then I may mix in more later. But just having the palette cam too is kind of the helpful. So if you're going to be painting along, what you can do is take screenshots every now and then and just mark what I mixed. You know, at this point it doesn't matter as much what the colors are because we're going to be covering over them, but I know some people want to have it exactly the same. Getting burnt umber and burnt orange, or burnt umber and unbleached titanium. There. Okay, so just going over the top of my neutral layer there, and I still have a little bit of this green in my brush, this teal, so it's creating another color up here in my purple area. And if it doesn't mix in very well, you can add a little bit of glaze and just kind of thin it out so it's more of a wash than really covering anything. But there we go. Yeah, that looks good. I think my drawing is all right. I probably need to come out a little farther with my arm there, but I think I'll leave it. Okay, so let's work on this guy. So I'm going to get this kind of medium bright green and start going on either side of that dark line that I made. I'm kind of leaving a little bit of a light light in the middle. I'm getting kind of some of the lighter color and sort of going down with that. I'm going to get some of that really dark green. While that's wet, I can kind of add it and then kind of fuzz it out on either side so it sort of blends into the light green that I just added.
And I'm proud of you that you've resisted pretty much resisted the Prime Day sales.
No, I just went and bought a bunch of stuff.
Uh-oh. Keeping the UPS guy busy, huh?
Yeah.
Job security.
Heck yeah. No.
Well, I'm glad that I've resisted the Amazon Prime Days.
When I was supposed to be working. You should have told me. I didn't notice. If you are going to be checking out the Prime Day, though, if you use our link down in the description, it helps our channel out. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it credits our channel for your purchases, so we get a little 1% kickback or something like that.
I like it. Hey.
But it adds up.
Yes, it does.
So we appreciate those who do that.
Yeah, we do have a few people that do that. They know they're going to get something from Amazon, so they click your link and go on from there.
Angela, or it's amazon.com/shop/Angela Fine Art. Angela Fine Art. So, getting some yellow here. I need to spray this. These are starting to get sticky, and they get sticky real fast. So, getting some of the yellow, adding some yellow oxide. This is that light yellow version. These ones back here are a lot lighter. They don't have as much detail. I'm not going to put the finishing touches on because I'm still not finished with these ones behind it, but at least I want to kind of start getting this one almost done. I probably need to finish the agave once that dries, that first layer dries there. I'm going to get some dark green or some of the brighter green here and just kind of do some of the layers there. It's trying to come together.
So do we know where Aunt Nancy took this?
Yeah, it was at the Desert Botanical Gardens. And I want to say in Palm Desert, maybe. I think. When they were visiting. I used to go all the time. It was real, like a field trip, thing that the schools would do. So, growing up there, Palm Springs, I'd go down. It gets out towards Indio. I'm not sure.
Let me check the old maps. We'll get it located.
Yeah.
The Desert Botanical Gardens. Check.
Yep.
Desert much better.
without the two S's. That's how you spell it.
Well, I know that now after
Yeah,
I
fun.
have to delete a few.
You didn't know how to spell desert?
So there's a desert botanical garden in Phoenix.
Could have been that. Yeah, it could have been. You can probably find the photo because it's probably a pretty common little photographed area, you know, I'm guessing. Okay, so just adding some of the lighter green here, kind of on top, highlighting a little bit. I don't need to do too much right now because I'll go back in and do that later, but it's coming along pretty well. Let's go ahead and add some green to this guy so he doesn't look like a glowing freak over here. It's looking a little bit out of place. So I'll add my dark green in here. I added a little bit more turquoise to it. This dark green that we mixed up. Just go ahead and kind of thinly wash over those areas. And kind of have it a little too wide right there. I need to widen it out at the top because it kind of comes straight down once it, you know, widens out. It's kind of straight. Okay, and then it comes out a little bit right there. Meets up. Give him a little arm coming out. All right. Sorry. I just looked over at Mark and he's shaking his head like, no. Okay, do I need to? I'm sorry, kids. Oh my god. I'm just seeing it. Okay. Can't unsee it now. Oh my god. Alright. Let's just do a quick mix. We can. Okay, let me think what I need to do here. We'll just put a bunch of flowers in front of it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. My god. Oh my god. I don't know if this is helping or hurting. We'll see. Put my details in. That's what I get for changing things up. I'm looking at a photo with it, though. I mean, I'm not making this up. This happens. It's just... probably...
Yep.
What?
No, it is in the photo, for sure.
Trying to be an adult here. Okay, there we go. That looks better at least. It's kind of got some details now. And again, I'm just going to tap down here at the kind of seam I'm seeing. And there's one right here in the middle. Just kind of tapping, creating those little ridges that I'm seeing. Hush, be quiet. Okay, just, you need to leave the room. He's crying. Okay, don't worry about it. We got this under control. Oh my God. So you didn't know what you were going to be watching. Oh my God. Using a little bit of the turquoise here. I get so many comments about this, I can tell already. I already hear it.
So I was just wondering, do we have like a blurring app?
A what?
A blurring app? We can just kind of blur out sections of the painting.
Yeah, they don't have one that we can use now, but yes, they do have them for photos, obviously. Mark Anderson.
So, I mean, I'll be completely honest here. I honestly didn't notice it until you said something.
Oh,
and
really?
Now, yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
what you were shaking your head at, or you were like...
I was just looking at
You
you
were
like I
just looking
normally
at
do.
me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's, it's one of my favorite things to do during the show, just kind of stare at you creepily.
Kind of like Cashmere does. That's where she gets it from, I guess. Huh? She's learned from the best. I'm using a little bit of white here, kind of adding these little triangular details that I'm seeing. This brush is just doing this mark here, so I'm just going to keep up with it. It's kind of an interesting little mark it's making.
Which brush?
The
Number 6?
6 Filbert.
Maybe I can zoom in enough to where it kind of cuts off. There we go.
I don't know. This may be a little bit much, but I kind of probably want smaller dots, but I can go back in and add those later. So right now I'm just kind of adding these little kind of the mid-tone colors.
So, you might start thinking of a new YouTube channel name just in case this one gets banned.
We have a bunch of... You're way too close there.
On
Up at
purpose.
the top.
I'm trying to crop out some.
Okay, well, honey, I'm painting up here. People need to see what I'm doing. All right, there. And then let's go ahead and I'm just very lightly dusting this color on so that I'm kind of creating highlights along the parts of the pleats that are sticking out a little bit, catching the light. I can't say anything.
I'm trying not to pay attention.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, let's work on the agave here. And I'm going to get the Cobalt Teal and add a little bit of Ultramarine Blue to it. Let's start with that. I'm going to start back here. My back layers. Get a little bit of white. Just need to go faster. We're already an hour in. Use the middle value color here and just kind of blend out that line there a little bit. Get a little bit of that darker green for down here. Okay. Again, I'm doing it very kind of loose interpretation here. Let me get my dark green, go in the middle of this. And then I'm going to kind of just try to push that color out just a little bit, wiping my brush off. Just blending it out a little bit on either side. I put it on fairly wet, so. But you can do these one at a time if you want. So they don't dry out. All right, getting some burnt umber, burnt sienna. Creating little spikes there. Are you better now?
Of course.
Okay.
Barely, but I'm better.
Okay.
You want to talk about Patreon?
Yeah, we can.
So just to remind everybody, over on patreon.com/AngelaFineArt, you can support the channel that way. And currently, right now, at the we have different levels. So at the $2 level, we have traceables, which you'll have access to the traceables for like this painting and all the other ones that she does for free on YouTube, going back to February 2017.
Yeah.
And then also at the $5 level, you get that, plus you get a bonus video, which we're going to do this weekend?
No, next weekend.
No. Okay,
Because I
weekend
got the
after next.
surgery on Friday.
That's right, that's right. So again, you get access to that, plus all the previous bonus videos at that level. And then the $10 level is all of that, plus you also do the challenge image, which is each Thursday you work on the same painting all month long.
Yep. Yes.
And that's been pretty good.
In a minute, the ones we did last month. We're going to be doing another, the challenge image we just finished is this one. So we finished this last week. That was 1 weekend from June carryover. And then this one is the one we did in June also, to finish it from May. So we kind of been hopscotching. But we'll be going to be doing another similar one. We're starting it on Thursday. This Thursday, we're starting Animals of South America.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be working on this with Animals of Asia.
We believe.
Take the Patreon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So anyways, we thank you very much to all those supporters on Patreon.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's awesome. It buys new mixers for the audio.
Yeah, hopefully it's better.
Yeah. It's easier for me and it's
Good.
better. And like the new scanner and things like that. And
Yeah, the scanner for sure. For sure. It's allowing us to invest back into the business this year. That's kind of what we've been doing, is just kind of buying new equipment and
investing in websites and
yeah, new website. Spending a lot of money on infrastructure this year. Trying to get set up for the future so we can provide you guys easier way of accessing our stuff. And yeah, so all right, so that's starting to look good. I'm kind of this guy's starting to come together. This one, let's go ahead and put on the spikes that are sticking out. So I'm gonna, or not the spikes, but the spines, and the that'll really make these center areas stand out a little bit. So I'm gonna use the edge of my brush and gonna do. Let's just go ahead and do it all the way down. Okay. And then as we go over here, they're going to be more along the outside edge. So right here, they're facing us, so we're seeing both sides of the pleat. And this is yellow oxide added with white. And as I come out here, I'm going to start to just go right along that edge. And so on this one here, we're not going to see the middle part of it anymore. We're just going to see the outer edge of it. Okay. So going right along the light side of it. And I'm going to get some of that light green and kind of come up underneath it and blend it back into the darker if I need to. Not all of them are going to need it, but I might need a and then we're going to do the same thing with this, just really dark right down the middle seam. Instead of the light color, I'm going to do the darker color. And then mix some of the darker color with this medium green here for some of these over here. Kind of just blend out that edge there so that it blends into the lighter color. There, now all of a sudden it looks like it's got some craters in it, doesn't it? It's amazing. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Huh?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thanks.
It's true.
Glad I got you fooled.
I mean, if you liked coffee, it'd be just about perfect. But then that means I would have to share, so...
Exactly.
You know what?
Right, better.
You are perfect because you like tea.
You don't have to share.
There you go. And, and not feel guilty.
Mm-mm. I have to share my tea, though. Spencer.
Well, that's the monster you created.
Yes, I did. Round that up just a little bit more right there. All right, I like it. We're kind of leaving the main details for the very end. We'll put in some of the, needles and that kind of thing towards the end, but let's go ahead and try to... need to kind of do a medium color. This color was this was a little too extreme, and it's not really blending very well right here with this, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull back with a more medium version. It'd be easier to blend it in. So we'll kind of start with that over that dark. And then we'll put the lighter color along the tip there, where the light's hitting it. And this is a very, very, very light touch. So when I'm doing this brush stroke here, I'm barely skimming so that I'm kind of dry brushing on the color. I don't want to press down too hard, otherwise I'm going to get a solid line. I want it to kind of break up as it's coming down and create a kind of a blend. Getting some more of that darker turquoise. I'm going to add it down here where it kind of comes down, meets up with the other. I'm going to do these ones in the back first, and that way I can do the ones on top, and then we'll have a clean transition between the colors that are in front and the ones that are back in the background. it's in front of that one. And then okay. Not doing too bad. We're an hour in, I guess.
Yeah.
Still got lots of details to add, so don't judge it yet. Your brain is going to be about right now. Your brain's going to be going, no, this is not right. But it'll get there. You gotta just trust the process. Okay. These are very subtle blends between these colors here. Just going from the... Just want to make sure we've got some sort of contrast where these transitions happen. So whether it's light or dark, it doesn't matter as long as we've got some transition here. So if I have this area here, if I want this one to look like it's in front, I can just add a little bit of a lighter color right along the edge of it, and it'll pop it forward. And now it looks like it's in front of that one. Also, partly because it's, you know, obviously it looks like it's in front because of the placement of the lines, but we can add some highlighting on the inside of it to help blend that lighter in. Okay, looks good. So I've got one here that I'm gonna get a little bit of that Ultramarine Blue. Use that. Get a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue and turquoise here. Use that to create this one, and there's one that's sticking up right here. So using two colors that are close in value, like if you want to have a little bit of a difference between two colors, but you don't want to add, you know, a lot of dark values to one of them, you can just change the color just a little bit. So you've got a little bit more, or, you know, purple, or a little bit more blue, or a little bit more turquoise. And speaking of purple, I think I'm going to grab some purple here and add it to this one here. Down in there. And then made it a little bit whiter than I wanted it to be. Get a little bit of the white and a little bit of that teal, and add it there to that one that's sticking out. And this one here. I'm seeing like little serrations there too, so I'm just going to kind of try to indicate that with some wiggly lines. I'm going to give this guy a little highlight right in the middle. Ultramarine Blue. There we go. I should have finished him before I did that one in front there. Actually comes out pretty far over this way. There we go. Alrighty. this guy back here. I'm going to get some of that blue edit right in here. Pull up. And then get some of my white and cobalt teal. Pull down with that. And then to transition there, I'm just going to get kind of a middle ground color and blend back and forth between those two, the light and the dark area, to try to get that to blend out a little bit. That looks good. All right. Looks good. All right, let's do some here. I think some of that cobalt teal with some white. Just pull it down. Got real quiet all of a sudden. And a little bit more of that middle color turquoise mixture. Blend it back up in there. And if we do that and just keep on doing this all the way down, we'll kind of don't have to worry about these overlapping lines and blending right up into them. It's a little bit easier way of doing these blends. All right, cleaning my brush out, so I've got a clean start here. Getting that cobalt teal. Bit of white. And getting that darker turquoise and just blending back up this way with it. And if I do this in the direction that the leaf grows, then it kind of just, if you're seeing streaks or if it's not fully blended, it just looks like it's part of the design. That way we don't have to carefully blend out each section. Getting some white here. Okay, there's one here. And then there's this one that this fills in this whole area right here.
So do we know what type of cactus this one is?
What?
Do we know what kind of cactus this blue one is?
This one's an agave.
Agave. Ooh.
Yes.
So that's why everybody was talking about the drink earlier.
It might be related to aloe, or it's kind of in that same family. Succulents. Actually, it kind of goes like that. Getting a little sticky now, so I need to let the underlayers dry before I try to put a bunch more paint on here, otherwise it'll just kind of start not sticking and do weird things. Trying to get the dark color down in here where I need it. Okay, and then this one's in front of that. There's probably, yeah, there's like this part is sticking out a little bit right there. Okay, I'm getting that dark turquoise, brown, blue, and ultramarine blue here. Just marking out these boundaries here. Get some purple and put it down in this area here, so it's really dark. Just darkening up that whole area right there, and kind of in my shadow areas if I need a little bit more. We can probably put something in front of that one to break up the, I don't know, that it's kind of in front, so. we'll probably have the butterfly flowers and stuff in front of some of this. So it's okay if it's not perfectly figured out. I can fudge it and put some flowers over any area that we don't like. Okay, so got that mostly done. Get our white border there. A couple of these areas here. Good. Just using the water to kind of clean that up. Got that outside the line where I didn't want it. All right. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit smaller brush now and do some of my line work. This is a 2 round, and I'm going to use it to add my spikes and different things to this. Let me see if I need to add any zigzag lines to my agave. I think I'm just going to kind of add some spikes along the edge. And get some of the light highlight color. I don't have a good, I kind of blurred this photo out and I don't have a good picture of the detail, so I'm just gonna kind of guesstimating here what they look like. Adding little bitty spikes coming off in both the light and the dark, so kind of doing both. Make this part a little bit thicker here. Yeah, I like it. Just little details. This will start making it look a little bit more realistic too. Getting a little bit of these kind of details in. Adding a little shadow underneath some of these. like it. Starting to get there. You're not even paying attention. You're on your phone over there.
Well, I was
Checking out TikTok.
fact checking the copper content of pennies.
Okay. Because
So the story goes that. Oh, hold on a second. We just got super chat.
does this have to do with what we're painting?
Sort of. Okay, so somebody came in and they were wondering if you were using a stay wet pellet because your paints are staying wet. And I said, well, no, she's spraying them and pulling from the center of the puddle and so forth.
Right.
Then discussion and chat went all along with the stay wet pellets and their tendency to mold.
Yes.
So one hack that people use is that they put copper pennies in there, but they have to be prior to October 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Because so prior to that time, U.S. pennies were 95% copper.
I see.
From October 82 on, they are 97.5% zinc.
Interesting.
So putting a modern day penny into your
Wouldn't
stay
do
won't
anything.
do anything, correct?
Interesting.
So I'm over here working. Come on.
Okay.
I'm not just checking TikToks and
Uh-huh.
Snapchatting and Insta-facing.
Right. I like how it's turning out. I think it's looking pretty good. I feel like I want something here just to kind of fill in this middle. Just doesn't have to be very dark or very bright. I don't want it to be very noticeable, but kind of want some sort of other thing there, like maybe this is part of this arm or something coming down. And this one probably should have been a little bit bigger, but that's okay. A little bit more white here. I'm picking up the white, but it's not pure white, it's mixing, so if I didn't have other colors on my brush, I would be mixing in some of the blue, but looks like I'm just getting white, but it's really kind of a light blue here. All right, I think we're getting pretty close to where I want to be. Get a little bit of darker color here and just kind of this transition here. And I'm going to add a light color all the way along that back ridge of that one. And a little bit on this front edge of this one. Okay, looks good. All right, let's add, well, we need to get going here. Need to add my light pops. And these are kind of in between the ones over here, so I'm kind of looking. And they're more flat too. Kind of going across instead of dotting. I'm gonna get some burnt umber and a bit of that green. I'm going to come up right above these and put a dark line above all of these. Just get that dark green that we already mixed. I'm mixing new color, don't need to. Okay, and then putting this color above these two. I'm just going to put this kind of where I think it's going to go. I'll put my light colors. Since I've already got this on my brush here, might as well. Alright, going back to this Unbleached Titanium, a little bit of yellow oxide, white. And these ones are kind of slanted up this way. All right, let's put some down here.
Her cactus are looking very 3D-ish.
Very what?
3D-ish.
Oh, good. Trying to get it there.
And just that dark detail in the
Huh?
the dark detail there in the pleats just really makes it, gives it shape and depth.
Yeah. Yeah, this little bit right here that I'm going to do really will help. It kind of makes the light area poke out towards us a little bit. Visually. This is not cooperating. Don't want it. Go. And then I get some of the light green here with some of the unbleached titanium. And mark a highlight on there. And I just need to do the transition between this and the lighter area better right here. So just put that dark color in the middle there, blending it out on either side. Okay, that's good. And then these guys need a little bit of this green too. So I'm gonna just dab. It is like every other. There you go. Wherever you start, I'm gonna go in between. So go there, and then split there, and then there, and then these are in between. Makes sense. Burnt umber too. They kind of all merge in the middle here, but along these spines they kind of go every other, and they stick out from the white parts, so just kind of dabbing. It'll make sense here in a minute once I start adding the spines. See what I mean? Adding a little bits of the. I missed one right here, I think. I kind of did, yeah. I missed. Oh well. Missed a spine. These ones aren't as noticeable that there's brown, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of mark over these a little bit. Add okay. And then I'm going to have to get a here. I'm going to get my white fluid will help. I may have to leave the Hummingbird off. I don't know. Add him later. And our needles are just going to go all different directions. The ones in the photo were kind of broken off of these guys, but I want them to have needles, so I'm going to add them. And I'm not even going to worry about them being perfect. So they'll look better if they're not perfect.
You just don't want a repeating pattern, right?
Right. Kind of got these ones kind of in a weird place there. Why is it doing that to me? Probably need a different brush. This brush is a little bit stiff, a little bit long. It's not quite giving me good control. Let me get a smaller brush. I can control better. Let's try the one round. It may be too big, but we'll see. That's okay. Some of them may be a little bit big, but that'd be good. Lots and lots of little spikes. So just find the brush that you can go fast and start from where the little dots are. So that's where you're, and they go in all different directions there. So just make sure your cactus is kind of where you want it to be before you do this, because you don't want to have to paint around these guys. And you can leave them off, some of them, so they, you know, they may be broken off in places. These cactus don't always, like, obviously I think they probably, I don't know, whatever, for whatever reason, the photo I'm using of this one has no spikes, so they've been removed or broken off or whatever. But I want them to be on mine. And the ones that are like on the sides, you may not see anything but them going off to one side, you know, instead of seeing them going in multiple directions. You may only see them poking off into one side. I know this is going late. I can just tell already. When I was looking at this morning, I'm like, why did I think this could be a Tuesday one? I don't know, because it's got a lot of detail. Started realizing I was going to be in trouble. Trying to get it done in 2 hours. Especially because I've added a bunch of detail to it that wasn't there in the reference photo. Oh well. I like it so far, so even if it does have a unmentionable arm here. I think we fixed it. It doesn't look as obscene now. Not that it's obscene. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know what you mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just over here minding my own business.
Okay. All right, there we go. Get spikes, and then we gotta do them for this guy too. So he's got a lot of spikes. This one goes kind of a starburst. And I'm probably not making these tall long enough. Well, yeah, maybe I am. It's interesting how they've spaced themselves out so they've got every bit covered. Every angle of attack is covered. There's no gaps in their armor. And do some short ones. Those will look like they're coming up towards us. So if you do some long ones and then do a few like shorter ones with it. Those are the ones coming up at us. And this white is probably a little bright, but I'm gonna glaze over where they kind of attach and stuff, and so it'll tone it down. Up in here is just kind of a jumble hodgepodge of needles going in all different directions. And I'm going to get some of the lighter yellow here. Keep these wet down so they don't dry out on me. A little bit of yellow with the white here. This whole area should be just kind of filled in with lots and lots of needles. You could use a pen for this if you don't like to use the liner brush. I think the main thing with the liner brush is to make sure that you're using thinned out paint. If you don't have the paint fluid enough, it just won't flow. You shouldn't have to press down at all for the paint to come off your brush. You're just barely touching the tip of the brush to the canvas. There's absolutely no pressure involved. And that paint should just flow smoothly off. So if it's not, then you need to add more water. Try not to curve these. These are really not very curved. Tempted to curve them just like whiskers, but they're not really like kitten whiskers. They're not.
Just spiky.
They're spiky straight. Probably ought to have just done the flowers first, because a lot of this is probably going to get covered up, but just save me time to do them all at once.
Kind of the
You could add
industrial.
flowers up here too. I was thinking about adding flowers to the cactus flowers too, but didn't. What were you saying, Adam?
Oh, I was just saying, kind of the industrial approach. Just do them all at once.
Yeah, yeah. Saving time here. Getting there. I'm trying not to stress out over any one line and just doing them fast, and that way they kind of come out better than if I do them real super carefully and slow. And of course, you know, I mean, you got to get them going the right direction and all that, but I find that line work is just, it looks better in general just if you go fast and don't be too precious about the lines you're making. They'll look better. It's going to have some kind of coming off from the back side of the cactus there. Right, looks good. Get a little bit of the turquoise and green, or maybe this dark green. And once that's dry, I'm just going to kind of dab back over the part where they kind of come out. Darken that up just a little bit. It'll kind of just settle them in, make them look like they're part of the cactus and not just sitting on top. They're attached. Just darken up where they start. But do it in a transparent so that you can kind of see through to the dark. You know, see through to the where they're attached. And then just kind of adding some lines and shadows in the middle here too. There we go. And then I'm going to get a bit of that white and just kind of come back up through here and add some dots and some white highlights along the ridges of the cactus. This will also kind of help. Our spikes look more normal. All right. Tempted to stop right there. It's 2 hours in. I think we're gonna have to, I don't know. Are you okay to keep going on?
Of course.
All right, we'll do some flowers.
I'll just go get my bundt cake and eat it in front of you.
Do it. Go for it. It's fine. I don't mind. Okay, so let's make our green stems. I'm going to use this light green here. Some white. And my yellow, if I've got any left here. Do some there. We're going to do some right through here. In front of this guy. Just gonna dab in some leaves here. Yeah, so most of this guy, his arm's gonna be covered up. I don't really know why I was stressing out about it. Probably didn't even have to paint it in because it's gonna be mostly covered up. But there we go. So got our stem there, and then I'm gonna do our little flowers out, little buds. This brush is a little too big probably for this, but we'll see. It's covering nicely. I think I wasn't sure if this would cover, but it's covering nicely. Get bigger as we go down at the bottom. Get a little bit bigger. I'm not sure what kind of flowers these are. If anybody knows, you can leave it in chat there. Curious to know what kind they are.
They're pink.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that I covered up all that detail there. but I really don't have another place to put these, so. And then I'm gonna put the openings. They've got, this brush is too big. Let me get my round, smaller round here, maybe. Just kind of wiggling the petals around that, the opening. Kind of leaving a little bit of the dark showing in the middle. And then we can always go back in and put that dark back in if we need to. Do them in different directions so they're not all facing forward. Like it. Yeah, you can't even see that arm anymore at all.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. Going around the and then adding a little bit of the white highlight on the middle part too, or the part that attaches. Darkening up the stems a little bit, making sure that these all have an attachment. Yeah, we ended up way realistic. I don't know why that happened, but it's all right. I like it. I just didn't intend for it to get this realistic. This happens sometimes. We get into the details. These are a little sloppy compared to the cactus. I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit more detail to them. So I kind of match the level of detail that we got going on in the cactus. My photograph, they're kind of blurry though, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what to, kind of out of focus. But I think we're getting the idea of them at least. Looks like it. Okay. Let's put our little hummingbird. Well, I was going to put him here, but I don't want him facing out. But I think I might have to. I think I'm going to put him right here. Because I don't... Yeah, I'll put him right here. Generally, I don't like to have something facing out of the composition, but I can't really help it in this case. Right here. Yeah, that'll work. Whoops. So this little head is going to be right here. I'm do him in green. I think just to get them in, and then we can change the colors as we need to. I think that'll work. Okay. Okay, I think that'll fit. Anybody still watching?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Of course they are.
Good. They were waiting for this part, probably. This is the best part. A little birdie. Gotta do the little birdie. Okay. Yeah, that'll be cute. Okay, I think I don't mind it. I don't mind that. Okay, getting the unbleached titanium and some burnt umber on my brush. Kind of mixing them both together. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just make my feathers coming out. Get that dark turquoise. I'm gonna get some of this dark green. I'm gonna use that on here. It's a little bit smaller than the one in the picture, but I think it's all right. In to create the feathers, and draw this long leading line out. kind of wish I'd put him in front of one of the lighter areas. He's disappearing. I'm going to have to make him lighter on the back side there for him to show up. I'm going to get some of the turquoise and some... Well, yeah, I need to make him in like a different color, so I'm going to have to make him green. Maybe get a little bit of white, maybe some brown in there. Okay. Just trying to get him a little, kind of closer to what the wing color is there. That'll work. And then I'll just use this color in the wings too. Blend out. Okay. He's still a little hard to see, so what I can do is make my background around him darker. So I might try that. I'm going to get some of that turquoise and purple and ultramarine blue and just kind of make this area behind him a little darker. And since he's kind of blocking that, we don't have to even blend it in. But we can maybe get a little glaze and just blend it in right here a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of it up here. Okay. Let's get a little bit of white and add it to this light green color that we had going on. So we have a light highlight color. Get a lot of highlight along the back. There we go. We'll put a little bit of white in the wings too. I'm going to put a little bit of just white right there. Little flash of white in the wings. Maybe on the tail feathers. And then let's get some black. Do the eye down to here. And I'm going to make the beak kind of dark too. I'm going to connect that area between the beak and the eye. And get some white here. I'm going to go, there's a little detail around the eye, so I'm going to go from the top of the beak around the eye with this light white green. Well, come on, it's not sticking. My paint's been sitting out for a while. They're starting to get, what time is it? Okay. Yeah, I kind of, okay, let me look at look at his shape. I think I got his form off a little bit. His drawing is off a little bit. His head's a little long.
I don't know.
No, not too bad.
No, there's some that are like that.
Okay.
I mean, with this drought that we're having, the Hummingbirds are definitely starting to fight over the feeders.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to make him a little bit lighter green altogether. Alright, I need to get some black if I can get this stuff to stay where I'm putting it. Everything is so thick. There we go. That's alright. Let me get some of the pink and my white, the magenta and white, and I'm gonna mark out around where he's drinking from that flower there. Wow, everything is just sticking to my brush so funky. Oh, my paints are drying out. And my air is blowing right on them.
I can turn it off for you.
It's fine. It's damage is done at this point. Okay. Yeah, I need to make him a little bit longer. His head is out of proportion to the rest of his body. Needs to be a little bit longer. The wings need to come up a little higher. Yeah, he needs to come down here. Okay, let me get some blue. And I'm gonna make him a little bit more like a phthalo blue color. I know I've done ones that are kind of that color before. It's just that it's the same color as the background agave there, so I can't get it too close. Otherwise he disappears again. Get some white here. And I just, oh. Highlight in. I'm just gonna create some little feather shapes. And he has some markings around the eye here. Try to get those in. Okay. I still feel like he's a little disappeared. I don't know. I'm trying to think what color I can make him that would make him show up better. I'm gonna mix in some burnt sienna to my green here. Make a brownish tone in there.
Some are suggesting to add some red to the
Red,
neck.
yeah. Would he have red on his body though?
Well, in the neck area.
The neck
but
area?
The
Okay,
underside.
I can do that.
Especially
little
if
bit
he's
of-
from Arkansas.
A little bit of orange with my magenta here.
Maybe like some racing stripes or something, or
I do like the red, that looks good. Racing stripes. You can get that white, they have that white belly sometimes. I think the shape's a little bit better. But I still, I don't know, still not happy with the color. Mixing a little bit of the magenta with the teal, or the phthalo green with the teal there. And at this point, I've got like 5 layers on here that are none of them dry yet. So adding more paint is gonna become very tricky if I don't let it dry. But yeah, I mean, we've done tons of hummingbirds. At least 3 other times that I can think of offhand. Probably more.
once in
So-
wash.
Yeah. So if you don't like this one, you can pick one of those and try it with yours. It'll have more detail. This one is obviously a little bit more on the simplified. I'm gonna get some yellow. Add it to my unbleached titanium here. I need to highlight right where that neck comes down. The body widens out, goes down into the tail. All right, I don't know. I keep just adding colors, hoping that it's gonna something's gonna click, but I'm not really loving it. So I'm gonna add some brilliant green here.
Just like paint a giant yellow arrow pointing towards him, just so that people know he's right there.
Yeah. Well, it's just, yeah, and I don't love that he's pointing out towards the thing. I kind of wish that he was turned around a little bit. My composition may not be quite right, but, you know, we're
She-
doing this live. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. You kind of get to see the good, bad, and the ugly. Sometimes it's not as pretty as I'd hoped when I get done with it, but I like it. I don't love it. You know, it's like there's something, and this is the kind of painting where I would stop right now because I'm not really sure exactly what to do to finish it. And I would probably research images, and I would leave it sitting in my living room and look at it for a few days and then decide what to do. And usually if I kind of, you know, give it some time, I will start to see things that I missed just in the heat of the moment. You know, when you get going on a painting and you're working on it for so long, sometimes you just need to stand back and let it rest and kind of think about it. And so I'm kind of at that point now where I kind of really need to just stop and think about it But I've got a lot of colors going on in there, so he doesn't look terrible. It's just not quite, maybe, there's maybe something missing, I'm not sure. Maybe when you guys do yours, you'll figure it out. If you paint along at all. But I'm gonna quit there. I've got some of this pink that I got on my Agave there, so I'm trying to clean it up. Got it on my hand and transferred it.
Somebody suggested perhaps a longer tail, slightly longer tail might help.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
But, well, this is a very nice, modest painting.
What do you mean modest? Yeah, I think a longer tail maybe. Yeah, you might be right. What do you mean by modest?
Oh, it's in reference to the earlier version of the painting.
Definitely better than what we had going on before. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna stop and regroup. Let me get a little bit of white here. It's got a little bit more pronounced roundness on the head right there, and a really bright highlight. All right, I'm gonna stop because I can't. Actually, let me do this. So one thing, I just see some. I'm gonna add some little bit of extra feather detail.
I like it.
All right, let's stop there. Zoom out. We'll see. Yeah, he's all right. I don't know. I think I liked it better before I added the flowers, honestly. But you never know.
Me too.
You liked it better too? You're a 2-year-old. That's what you are. I'm gonna add some leaves for this plant here coming out. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Super chat. I wasn't able to get that recorded yet, obviously.
Well, that's squeaky. All right. So our
First super chat is from Leslie. No special message, but she's
Leslie.
really enjoyed the show.
Good.
So thank you very much, Leslie. And then the next one was from Cindy. Says, good show.
Oh,
Thank you guys for all you do.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy. That was really awesome.
all right. That's the super chats.
And we have a general question
Okay.
about painting.
Okay.
So Carolyn says that she is drawing and painting musical instruments on a poster board,
Okay.
but it sucks the moisture out and
Yes.
doesn't cover well.
No.
What can she do?
Might try using tempera paint because it's meant for poster board.
Is that the stuff in the bottle? Like this
Yeah.
kind of liquidy?
There's not a whole lot you can do with that. I mean, if you're using acrylics on paper, you're going to have to add a lot more moisture to get them to stick and to look good. So, and to not draw it, it just sucks all the moisture out of it. So there's really not a whole lot you can do about it except for just add water, add water and often. I've done that before though, and I've painted on cardboard with acrylics. I mean, you can do it, but it does go a little easier. The thinner, get a craft acrylic. Don't waste your good paints on poster board. So if you're using craft acrylics, they'll be a lot better. They're a lot cheaper too, and you can get a few colors and just use that instead of your good acrylic paints. All right, I'm going to stop. I keep messing with it. I still haven't figured it out.
This is the fourth stopping point.
I just keep going back to it. So I'm going to for real stop now. He's still not quite the right color. I'm not really sure what to do about him.
Well, it was fun.
It was. I think it just has to do with the background. There's just no real good place to put him unless he's on a lighter background, so we can get some more value added to it. He's too close to the colors behind him for me to be able to get some good contrast without him looking like he's outlined, which I don't want to do. So
well, I can say that I haven't laughed that hard in a very long time.
I am happy to entertain.
And for those of you who are new to the channel, when Angela says that she's done, she's not done, obviously, because we're on the 5th done. And if you notice, there's a paintbrush back in her hand. And she's doing post-done painting. So
don't ever leave when she
right.
says she's done.
It's kind of like when I'm done with dinner. This is the grazing portion of the show.
This is dessert.
This is dessert. Dessert painting.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I took some pictures of some dessert the other day, so I'm not going to tell you what.
Yeah.
It's going to be a surprise, but hopefully you're going to enjoy it.
Yep.
It'll be next month probably. Maybe then. We'll see. But all right, thanks guys for watching. Sorry it went so late on a Tuesday. That's almost 3 hours. Woo. Mark's gonna go straight to bed after this.
Pretty much.
Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you so much. Like, subscribe, come back. We're gonna be doing this again next Tuesday. And thank you to our patrons who make it all possible. If you're interested in that, all the links are down in the description to where to join up. And we thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.